Alright, so we're going to do another one of these because I won't lie, it's been a while since I've been able to really do one, and I kind of went deep in the tank because I was frustrated at just kind of losing. There's a couple of decks that are just very prominent and very hard to beat, and you know how it is when you get into that meta game and it's like, alright, so I really like playing this specific deck. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I can beat, but I come across that one deck that everybody seems to play, and there's just not much I can do. You know, that's kind of how it was with a lot of the decks I was playing, and it just couldn't get there. I remember it was kind of like when I was playing Balancing Things, and, you know, I could beat every deck in the format almost every time, and, you know, you come against Psychotog, and you just can't seem to get there against Psychotog because there's just too much bullshit that deck is doing. So, of course, everybody plays Psychotog because they love the bullshit. So I really went in the tank, and I came up with this. Now, it's super grindy. Like, it's just all about the grind on this one. But it's got a lot of really fun cards. We're not going to worry about the sideboard today. I am going to do the best 2 out of 3, but they're coming out with a new system, and it's about 8 hours away. So I'll probably do that, I don't know, maybe Sunday or Monday if I can figure it out. I'm actually in a spot right now that I'm going to be leaving on Sunday and going to another spot, so we'll see what happens. So the two big things is obviously control is very big. There's a lot of control. There's a lot of aggro. So how do you beat aggro? Just massive amounts of removal and life gain. You know, life gain to stabilize you. So those are, you know, what we figured out, just core Magic principles. How do you beat control? Generally, hand disruption beats control, and out card advantaging the control deck. Card advantage is very hard in the current format because you don't have some of those killer spells from back in the day, things like, you know, your Fact or Fictions, or, you know, any of your, you know, Stroke of Genius style cards that allow you to just draw a massive amount of cards and just dump your mana into it. That kind of stuff just doesn't happen anymore. You know, now you're basically drawing 2 cards for 1, which is not a bad thing, but that's just kind of what it comes down to. So for hand disruption, the only real hand disruption that we have is duress. There's 3 duress in the main. There's 1 in the board. That duress is actually pretty key against the control decks in the mid game. In the late game, you're going to beat them anyway, is what I have found out. But in the early game, it's neither here nor there. I mean, it's good in the early game to get that early Planeswalker out of their hand, make sure they don't cast that and make them have to draw into another one, to get Counterspell out of their hand so you can set up some of your early game artifacts that we'll go over here in a second, or to get, you know, to get their hand disruption out. Nobody plays Duress in the main. Everybody plays Thought Erasure, which is a much better card, but I'm not playing blue, so Duress it is. I'm also playing 4 Fountain of Removal. Fountain of Removal, or Renewal, sorry, is really good. 1 cast artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life. So that's pretty much it. Like, it doesn't sound like much, but man, this thing is really, really good against decks that, you know, just want to attack you for 2 all the time. Now they're attacking you for 1, and as we all know, there's no such thing as a Llanowar Elf that goes all the way. It just doesn't happen. Dawn of Hope is one of our two drops that we want to see on turn 2. Dawn of Hope says whenever you gain life, you may pay 2, and if you do, you draw a card. So there is your card advantage engine. That is an enchantment. Nobody plays enchantment removal right now outside of Cleansing Nova, but we'll get back to that in a second. Its second ability is a white and 3, create a 1/1 dude with lifelink. So again, that is your card advantage engine. Now, turn 1, drop Fountain of Renewal. This is the dream scenario. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. Fountain of Renewal, turn 1. You know, turn 2, you gain life. Drop this. Turn 3, you pay your 2 mana that you have in play, and you draw a card because you just gained a life. So, like, right away, you're, like, card advantaging everything. 2, Moment of Craving, because there are some creatures. First off, it's life gain. It does trigger this, so you get to draw a card off of this, which is fantastic. You also, the other thing is there's a couple of cards. There's a really brilliant card. It's It's a white card. It is, let's see if I could just find him here. Because I can't remember the name of the card, obviously. No, that's too much. Anyway, it's a 1/1. Oh, here it is. So it's Adonto Vanguard. It's a 1/1 for 2. When it attacks, it gets +2/+0, so it's swinging for 3, and you can pay 4 life to make it indestructible. That pretty much makes most of the wrath and removal effects in the format completely useless against this. However, indestructible doesn't do anything with the -2/-2 aspect, so clearly that's very good. It's there mainly for that card. It's also there against mono red. It's good to just have, a turn 2, removal spell that you could just pound him with. The other 2 drops that we have are phenomenal. I run one of these. I run one of these specifically because, 1, I don't know how I'm going to fit another one in because this deck is kind of a suitcase. 2, I only have 1, so it really works out well. It's 2 Cast Cuss artifact for 3 mana. You can search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. The big thing is at the beginning of your end step, if you have 7 or more lands, you flip it and it becomes Maze of Ith that also taps for mana. It's absolutely amazing against the mid-range decks. You'll run that out and you'll force them to overcommit the board, and you can then use one of your numerous wrath effects to take care of the board. Also, after you wrath the board, when they have against aggro, they dump their hand, you wrath the board, they play their 1 creature that they're going to hope gets there, and you just have Maze of Ith to make sure that shit doesn't happen, so it's very nice. The MVP of pretty much the format, as far as I'm concerned, is Treasure Map. I love this card so much. 2 Casticus artifact. For 1, you tap it, and you scry 1. That's pretty much it. You basically just scry 1, but you put a landmark counter on it, and when it has 3 counters, it flips over and becomes a land. So it accelerates your mana right then and there, which is always nice. But it's it taps to add a colorless, but you sacrifice a treasure to draw a card, and it creates 3 treasures when you flip it. So after you exhaust your whole hand, combating whatever BS is going on, you have 3 cards waiting for you there, and it's just really key, and it helps. The late game, your card advantage is already going to be there. Your early game, you're spending most of your time throwing spells around trying not to die. But the mid game, this gets you your cards back. This helps you survive the mid game, and it's so good. It also accelerates your mana. There have been plenty of times when I've been color screwed or mana screwed, but I've managed to flip this. I can sack the treasures for a mana of any color, and it allows me to wrath, and it's not ideal. I would much rather draw cards, but it's good on a pinch. I have 1 3-drop in the deck. It's Profane Possession. This card's also phenomenal. Profane Possession is a white, black, and 1 for an enchantment. White, black, and 3, exile a creature, and if there are 3 or more cards exiled with Profane Possession, you flip it over, and it adds 1 mana of any color, so that's always good. And then a black, white, and 2 tap the land, and you can put one of the creatures exiled into the battlefield. This has been absolutely fantastic against dinosaurs. Is kind of seeing this, big thing coming around. The dragons, mono white angels. It's good against all of that stuff, and I've been really enjoying it as far as that goes. I did have 2. I ended up moving 1 to the sideboard because there is a lot of aggro, and I don't want to see it very much against aggro until late game, when I'm really just kind of in the position of I've already stabilized. I just need to make sure I don't die while I accumulate more cards. 4 mana is 4 mana and 5 mana is kind of where it's at as far as getting the ball rolling with the deck. 2 Ixalan's Binding, because anything that says that other spells are completely useless in your hand is good. 4 Settle the Wreckage. This card is fantastic. People will play around this card, but because you draw so many cards, because you run so much other removal, and because you have so much life gain, you can usually absorb another player's playing around of your card until they just get desperate enough to swing at you, and then you wreck them with Settle the Wreckage. The card is very good, and because, again, you run 4 and you have so much card draw, you're going to draw multiples, and they'll play around it. They'll attack you with just a couple of guys. You'll Settle the Wreckage, and then they'll bring the team the next turn, and you'll settle again. 3 Vraska's Contempt, because Planeswalkers are still a thing. That's also why Ixalan's Binding wasn't originally in here, but it's in here now. But Vraska's Contempt is really good. There's just no doubt about it. That's also why we have Eldest Reborn in the 5-drop slot. Eldest Reborn, I started the deck with 3. I ended up moving 1 to the sideboard. I ended up moving 1 to the sideboard. It's great. The problem that I have with Eldest Reborn in the current format is many people obviously know about it, so they play around it. They throw out a bunch of bullshit creatures and small tokens and stuff like that. So Eldest Reborn, I really only want to see Eldest Reborn on like turn 11. It's not really a card that I need early game at all. Cleansing Nova. Cleansing Nova is fantastic. About 80% of the time we use the destroy all creatures aspect of Cleansing Nova, just your basic wrath effect, and it's usually more than enough to win the game. There are times when they are locking you down with their enchantments, especially on the white side. The green side has a lot of enchantments that you don't like, and then the mill decks actually have a lot of enchantments that you don't like. You're usually going to have to, most of your deck is artifacts and enchantments as well, so you're usually going to have to compromise yourself on that by sacking tokens for mana, trying to flip them over to make them lands, just sacking your Fountain of Renewal to draw a card just to get them out of there so you can Cleansing Nova and not screw yourself on the enchantment and artifact side, because sometimes you just got to get rid of their stuff. Just kind of is how it is. Maybe that'll come around as part of our 1000 IQ plays, but that's just not really something that happens much. And on the 6-drop slot, we got 3 cards. We have the Immortal Sun. The Immortal Sun is fantastic. It says players can't activate Planeswalkers' loyalty abilities, so this completely shuts down all Planeswalkers. So if we can Windmill Slam this on turn 6 against pretty much any deck, it's good. Like I said, nobody's running a lot of enchantment or artifact removal, so again, this is just a really good thing. You also get to draw a card at the beginning of your draw step, so you draw 2 cards a turn. All of your spells cost 1 less to play, and creatures you control get +1/+1. Though we don't really have any creatures, that does mean that all the dudes we make get +1/+1. So now we're creating 2/2s with lifelink, and that closes the game out really quickly. And the last card is a Demon Lord Belzalok. I have a 1 of him. He's going to be the first card that I cut for something, but I really like having the 1 random creature in here that does the 1 random thing. Maybe when the next set comes out, when the Orzhov Guild gets its cards, and maybe this will be something else. Maybe a lot of this will be something else. I don't know, but it's a 6/6 for 6, and he flies, and he has trample. And what's more is when he comes into play, you exile cards from the top of your library until you hit a non-land card. You put that card into your hand. If the card's converted mana cost is 4 or greater, you repeat the process, and you do this until you no longer repeat the process, and then he deals 1 damage for each card that you put into your hand this way. Late game, if you're casting this with 6 mana, 7 mana, you're fine. But late game, it digs through mana pockets, and it will draw you 1 or 2 cards. And again, you gain so much life, you don't really care about that initial hit. So that's that. Now the lands, 10 plains, 9 swamps, 3 isolated chapels, only because I have 3. If I had the opportunity, I would take out a plains for another isolated chapel. 2 Arc of Orzhaka, because a colorless uncounterable way to draw cards in the mid and late game is how you win all of that. And 2 Field of Ruin. 2 Field of Ruin mainly because there's 3 lands in the format that we just don't like seeing. The first one is Search for Askanta's land. Search for Askanta is I suppose I could have typed in Askanta. So Search for Askanta is it's an enchantment that flips into an impulse, and I definitely don't want my opponent having an uncounterable impulse every single turn. And so we need to get rid of that land. There is the other two lands that we just don't like seeing pretty much ever are going to be Memorial to Folly. Memorial to Folly, most of your black-green decks are playing that. It's a black and 2, sacrifice it, and return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Most of the time, they're returning some ridiculous bomb that you've already dealt with, like Carnage Tyrant, something that you just don't want to deal with again. And that's just bad. I mean, you're usually exhausting a lot of resources to deal with the first one. You don't want them to regrow it. Or they're regrowing their Eternal Witness guy, and they're hitting that. And again, you don't want to deal with that. The other land that we don't like to see is, it's actually a white card. It's I don't actually have one. It's it's 1 white mana. When it comes into play, it creates a vampire with lifelink. But when you attack with 3 guys, it flips, and it basically becomes the new. You guys are going to have to hit me on this. I don't know what. I don't remember the name of the card, but it's a white and 2, and it creates a token. So it's I don't remember that card from way back in the day. That's okay. So yeah, that's the deck, and like I said, it's just very grindy. So we'll go ahead and enter the constructed event, which ends in 6 hours here, and let's see where we end up. This could be fun. My Siri? Oh, all right, so already this hand is good. We got mana of both colors. We have a 2-drop. We have a 3-drop if we want to go that route. More importantly, we have the Wraths. So against the mid-range decks, we have our answer. Against the aggro decks, we have multiple answers. And against control, we have something to smooth ourselves out in the early game to help keep us up. So we're going to go ahead and keep this. And we are going to go first, so we'll just run out the planes, pass the turn. They really smoothed out the user interface. They changed some of the animations, which is kind of nice. Oh yeah, that was a great draw. We're going to put a stop on our upkeep. Because if I have a land on top... Alright, so this does absolutely nothing. It attacks for 1. That's pretty much it. Fountain of Renewal, that's a great card to have, so we're going to keep it. And we'll draw. Oh, go to the main phase. Alright. Land and run out. Fountain of Renewal. So this guy is playing White Weenie, and this should be a pretty easy win. He didn't do anything explosive on turn 1 or 2. Ooh. Alright, he's playing main deck Artifact Enchantment Removal, which I didn't see coming, but at the end of the day, he's attacking for essentially 0, which I am perfectly okay with. So we're going to run out Profane Possession just to have it out. Wow, like this card is just not run. Nobody runs this. Shall I? Yep. That's going to get Profane Possessed. He'll attack for 1. Oh yeah. And then I'll go back up to 20. And I'm not going to fool around with it. I don't know what he's running. He already showed me that he's running some non-traditional cards in the main. So I'm just going to remove that from the game now. One of the great things about this is that is RFG'd forever. So even if he gets rid of Profane Possession, that's it. Nothing he can do. And he will attack me for 0. I love it. Like he's just been beating on my face, and I have just not cared. Creatures your opponent control into the battlefield tapped. Yes, indeed. And again, he attacks for 0. And we'll play Fountain of Renewal number 2, which adds another degree of hilarity. This is what I'm talking about. Like with the Fountain of Renewals, you just make them overcommit the board. And if they don't, like... Yeah, so right now, am I still really scared about him attacking for 2? Not really. Like, worst case scenario, I could just remove that. You know, but I'm not going to right now. There's not a huge need for it. I'll just go back up. And a treasure map. That is a solid draw. So we'll go ahead and play treasure map. And we'll pass the turn. So again, this is one of those things, I mean, alright, so what do we got here? Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, they gain indestructible until end of turn. That's perfectly fine. That doesn't do anything to us. Yep, they are indestructible. And they will deal an aggregate 2, and we will scry 1. Cleansing Nova, don't really need it, so we'll put it to the bottom. We're also going to put a stop on the upkeep. I just want to be able to control my draw. We'll hit that now. Dawn of Hope, solid. We'll keep that. We'll gain our 2 life. Draw that card, and at this point, we're actually just going to say go. It's just an excellent time to have him continue to overcommit the board, and we'll remove that guy. Yep. So we're in a situation where we cannot play Dawn of Hope and Settle. Which I'm actually alright with that. So we'll just run out Dawn of Hope. And we'll pass turn. Radiant Destiny is good. Let's see what he has. He has a dinosaur, he has a human soldier, and he has a bird. So that's not really going to do much. There's not a whole lot of cohesion in that. Let's see what creature type he chooses. He chose dinosaur. So this guy is going to get in for a little bit more. And that will take me to a little bit less. And we will work our treasure map. You know, I do kind of want that plains. And we'll take our turn. Go back up to 12. So here's one of the great things about it. We can start drawing cards. We're actually going to decline on this just because actually, you know what? I'm going to draw that card. And then we'll draw another one. See, that just worked out great. And we'll pass the turn. So opponent already has infinite mana, and they know that I'm not doing anything. So this is where we're just going to settle. We might wait a turn just to get that extra card. Yeah, we're going to wait one turn. So we'll be at 9. We are going to go ahead and draw this card from this nicely placed treasure. Another set of the wreckage. Sounds good. All right, so this time we are going to decline the paying for Dawn. And we just continue to draw cards. I am curious what he has in his hand. I kind of want to know what he's thinking, what he's planning. All right, so this does absolutely nothing against us. We don't care. This doesn't matter. And creature gains indestructible. I'm going to have him get rid of that because I do have Cleansing Nova. I like Cleansing Nova. And since I know he runs this and I have kind of an open chance now, here. I'm going to just get rid of his team. And we'll pass turn. So we know he doesn't have anything in his hand that's worth anything. And that'll do it. So again, drawing cards here with Dawn of Hope is irrelevant. We know that the 2 cards he has are not really worth much. They will be able to get rid of our tokens as we attack, but we don't care. So let's see, how much mana do we have? We got 4. Right, so I'm going to draw a card, draw my last card with the treasure, and make 2 dorks. Oh. Draw that card. Another Dawn of Hope that we can hold in our hand for a while. Unless you're really desperate for cards, there's no reason to play the second Dawn of Hope. It does trigger twice, so here technically I'd be able to draw 4 cards if I was so inclined. Not going to. So he kind of sees what's going on. He's going to scoop it up now. Like there was no way for him to win. It's pretty good. So 1-0. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. All right, so this hand is incredibly slow. And to be perfectly honest, I don't actually know if it's good. But what I do know is we're going to keep it because we have Treasure Map and we have Compass. So depending what we draw here, no, it really doesn't depend. Yeah. So we are going to drop the Compass. And so now we're kind of curving out here. White-black, he's representing that he is playing vampires. And there we go. There's our Vampire Knight, which says that he doesn't untap, but whenever you gain life, you can untap him. We draw a Mortal Sun. That is going to really come into play for a little bit. But that's all right. So here we're going to scry. Yep. And we're going to take 4 right to the face. Huh. Or he's just not going to attack, which is also fine. We don't have time for that. That was pretty good. We're actually going to store that. We're going to search for a land. Let's see, what do we have? We have plains, swamp, plains. All right, so.
Show me what you got.
All right, we're going to grab our plains, play the plains, pass turn. Another lieutenant. That's pretty good. And now would be a good time to hit us for 8. And that is exactly what he's going to do. We'll go ahead and scry. Dawn of Hope. We already have a Dawn of Hope, so we're going to ship that. In this matchup, having 2 Dawn of Hopes is not exactly a big thing. Gosh, I wish I would have had that earlier. That's okay. Now it's very easy. We Cleansing Note. When in doubt, Wrath aboard. We're going to put a stop on our upkeep. And this is where we are going to just, another treasure map. We're definitely going to draw that. That gives us 6 lands in play. That is why we did that. So now we are going to search our library for a land. We'll grab another swamp. This will allow us to play the swamp. Oh yeah, I already dropped. Wait. Oh, we did this all during our upkeep because, we're good at this game. Throw another treasure map out there. And during the end step, our compass will flip. And now we have a Maze of Ith. And now our opponent loses. There's just 0 things that they can do. Sword point diplomacy here. So that's fine. He's allowed to have the land. He cannot have the history of Benalia, and he can have his Phyrexian scriptures, which does absolutely nothing against us. So the turn has been passed. We go to 9. He discards. Solid. And now we have City's Blessing, so now we can start drawing cards with that. We're going to use this to play here. And we are going to draw a card. And we'll run out Immortal Sun. And now we'll pass a turn. Next turn, we are going to probably Eldest Reborn his whatever threat he plays. He's not going to play a threat. Then that changes what we're going to do. What we're going to do is play Dawn of Hope. Yeah, I like that. Great thing about Fountain of Renewal is it is now a 0 cast artifact because of Immortal Sun. We will go ahead and run out Dawn of Hope for 1 white mana. And we will pass the turn. And like I said, at this point, against a mid-range deck, it is going to be impossible for us to lose here. Yeah, whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. Card is overly solid. All right, so on my turn, we will... Actually, before we do that, let's scry. Vraska's Contempt, always a good card. We will put that into our hand. I am also going to draw a card with our land there. Again, no need to draw cards here. Immortal Sun is going to draw us extra cards. Settle is a fantastic card to draw there. And we will... Yeah, use the spires, and we'll use a plains to Eldest Reborn. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're in step, of course, depending on what he does. That's fine. All right, so what we will do is we will draw a card. Excellence Binding, pretty decent. We're going to use this to scry 1. I'm going to put that swamp on the bottom. I have a feeling we're going to draw another land anyway. We're going to make a token. And we're going to take the turn. There's a Fun Cleansing Nova. There's that land I said we were going to get. Opponent will choose to discard. Vampire Sovereign. Alright. And I'm actually going to get in there with our guy. Let's see if he decides to double block, gain his 2 life. He does not. So he will take that damage. And we will let everything just kind of pass. Having opponent missing two early game land drops did help, but I mean, as you can see, there's cards that we've had that, I mean, it just doesn't matter. Phyrexian Scriptures comes into play. It's going to make one of his guys a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make one guy, and I'm going to block his big guy. Actually, I'm just going to make 2 guys here. Now, these 2 guys are going to die. But that's okay. I am still going to get in the 6 damage while I can, because his guys are also going to die. Oh. Alright, what gets me the most effect in one shot? That's going to be the Vampire Sovereign. That will come into play and drain him for 3. And we will not draw a card from that. Moving into the combat step, we're bringing all the noise. See, now is kind of a good time for us to decide what we're going to do. If we're going to let that Phyrexian thing go off. So here are some things that we want to take care of, but we already know that we can. Like, these guys are just not a problem for us. Divine Visitation is not something we want to deal with. None of these other things matter. So we are going to take Divine Visitation. And this does bring up something kind of fun. For 3 mana, we can make this go away. Play our Swamp for the turn. And ship it. So now we get to keep our guys. The Vampire Sovereign is pretty boss here. The best thing for him to do is probably, I wouldn't have played that. I would have played the Banneret. But yeah, when he comes into play, create a 1/1 guy with lifelink. Yep. And he's deciding not to attack, which is perfectly all right. I, on the other hand, am going to draw a card. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, draw one more. All right, and we'll make a dude. And we'll make a dude. And we'll take our turn. Gain some life. All right, so that's pretty brilliant. We're going to make that go away. We will decline. And our next stage is where we turn all of our guys sideways into the red zone and watch him squirm a little bit. Oh, or he's just going to let it overtake him, which is perfectly fine. Accumulating monies, crushing dreams, stomping noobs. Oh, we have a Prince fan. Well, November Rain was Guns N' Roses, wasn't it? All right. If our opponent's playing aggro, he's going to be a sad panda because this hand is phenomenal against the aggro. I mean, we're going to draw into things unless we just draw 10 straight lands here. All right, so it looks like he's most likely playing Drakes, and I'm perfectly okay with this. Drake's probably the best deck in the format. I mean, I'm having trouble thinking of anything that's better than Drake's. That actually tells me it could be blue-red control, but I mean, we really just don't know. Gotta wait and see. One of the... Oh, okay. There's L. Drake number 1. Let's see what he's got going on in there. Yep. Escanta. Puts a land in the graveyard. Discovery for our opponent. And he will attack for essentially 1. That was a really good card to draw. So now we have a choice. Next turn, he is going to flip. He's going to end-step shock. Probably do this and flip Search for Escanta because it's going to fuel his hand for the rest of the game. We can get rid of it with Ixalan's Binding, but we can also take out his Enigma Drakes, which we're pretty sure he's running 4 of. So it's kind of hard. I don't really care about Enigma Drake. So we're going to take out Search for Escanta. He doesn't get to do any of that tricky blue shit. Alright, brings down Crackles, draws him a card. Alright. We're going to main phase, get rid of Crackles. I don't think he runs Dive Down. He does run dive down. Okay. So that was an unfortunate happenstance. He's going to hit us pretty hard here. Yeah, very hard. Very, very hard. Here's the power of what 2 Drakes can do. It's not a great thing. All right, let's see what he's got. This is where we go into settle the wreckage mode. Did he draw a counterspell? He did not. One, two, 3, and 5. That's not quite there. Opponent opts. I need one more permanent to turn our Arc of Orizaka, whatever. That counts as a permanent. We're going to run it out. That gives us Cleansing Nova, gives us another Cleansing Nova, and a treasure map. So we will take that. We just drew 3 cards. We got a big demon in play. And we're going to gain our 2 life. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, opponent, I'm so sorry. This is what we call being fucked. So I kind of played that backwards, to be honest. I should have played the other one first, but that's all right. We will scry. We will keep that. Dropping the Ral Zarek on me. That just happened. Demon down. We're going to make Ral Zarek go away. We will scry. And the Dawn of Hope being on top where it belongs. So the secret to being good at Magic is just draw the cards you want. That's all you need. Just make sure that you are always the one drawing the cards that you need to draw. Good luck, opponent. And we will treasure map. We're going to move Ixalan's Binding. And create a dork. And we will start our turn now. We are going to pay for it simply because it's cheaper to do it this way than it is with... and that's okay. Let's see where he's at. Lava Coil dive down, search for Escanta, which we do not want him to have. I don't know why he didn't play that. We're going to decline that. Crackles. See what we draw. Luckily, our life is at a point where even if he dives down our Mtga, Crackles isn't that much of a problem. We are not going to draw the additional card this time. Our opponent is getting to the phase where he's not sure if it's worth continuing. You'll see this a lot. This deck just seems kind of demoralizing at times, I guess. And here comes the team. One of them gets blocked. We will gain 2 life. Again, we are going to decline this. We're going to end the turn. So we have kind of a fun trick here. I'm hoping he uses the dive down to cover himself from Mtga. Nope, he's just going to sit back and block, which seems okay with me. So we're going to draw our card, because I like to draw cards. Oh, that was nice. Make a guy, and make another guy. Oh, that was pretty good. I'm going to run out the old Immortal Sun. That's going to hit, and we are going to attack. Take our opponent's life way down. Declining all of these changes our game plan up, because we have one. We can cast everything for less, so that's going to force him to dive down right now. Or he could just let it happen, and we will decline. Opt for our opponent. And there it is. And we're up to 3-0. Moving into round 4. Yep. The hand has treasure map, therefore we keep the hand. It's not a hard, fast rule, but most of the time it's a pretty solid way to go. And we're going first. That's good. We have early game removal. We have mid game removal. Like I said, I don't like Eldest Reborn in my opening hand that much. I say as I draw another Eldest Reborn. That's okay. All right, so he's all about the surveil. This is going to be an incredibly grindy game. Incredibly grindy. Next turn, he is probably going to either Thought Erasure or whatever that other card is. Something campaign that makes me discard a card. Either way, Eldest Reborn's probably going to go in the bin. Or he's going to Discovery. The enchantment he played allows him to surveil an extra 2 on top of whatever he surveils. So right now he's surveilling 4 and drawing a card. He kept everything on top. We will scry with the treasure map. I'm going to ditch the land. Land is really important in this matchup, but I mean, there you go. It's going to happen regardless. Nightville Spectre. I don't know if he runs counter magic, but now's a good time to find out. All right, he doesn't. So this is all right. This is going to destroy his card, which, quite frankly, if that's the only card we get to reanimate, that's okay. I do not mind surveilling every turn. Okay. And Discovery for our opponent. He is going to have to discard a card on his turn. Woo! Put 4 lands into the yard. Ugh. That's fine. We're going to run this out again. Only reason is, I mean, the whole goal of his deck is to tear apart my hand. I don't think he started with a very good hand. Narcomoeba. I might be thinking he's playing a different deck than what he's playing, but all I know is I'm going to get my cards back a lot faster. Yep. Another Nightville. He's going to go ahead and scoop it up. Yeah, I have no idea what was going on with that deck. I thought that was a standard surveil deck. Every once in a while, you're going to come across somebody trying to brew. Maybe he just didn't get a hand. I mean, that shit happens. The shuffler on this game, it's not always the best. So I guess that'll be the round that we decided to get a buy-in. Turn 1 Fountain of Renewal, turn 2 Treasure Map, turn 3 Scry, turn 4 Vraska's Cadet. Like, this is, again, this is just overly solid. I do not know what our opponent's playing. All right. We now know he is playing Phoenix and Drakes and stuff and things, which our life gain is going to help out because he does hit kind of hard, and he does it all at once. So that's going to be huge. Removing his Phoenixes is going to be the key, and making sure the Drakes stay off the table is going to be pretty huge. Traditionally, his deck runs no counter magic in the main. It is all cantrips and, you know, just synergetic spells to go with his Phoenixes. He doesn't want to hold spells back in his hand that, you know, replace a good spell for his Phoenix. Yeah, we'll take that. We're now in a position to Vraska's Contempt of Phoenix, if that's what happens. Now is the turn when that can start happening. Runs out Crackles. Crackle's definitely not bad. Let's see if we got a land on top. We do not. Settle is still good, though, so we're going to keep Settle. Yeah, no plays. Chart the course, draw a couple cards, puts a Phoenix into the yard. There's the opt. Let's see if our opponent can find the shock. Keeps it on top. There's the shock to bring back the Phoenix. And here it all comes. And of course this is where we tell him to kindly settle down. So that's one Phoenix down. He has no recursion for the Drake, so just a standard kill spell on the Drakes is good, but Phoenix, you gotta keep that, you gotta get rid of it as soon as you can. Yep, plains. We'll gain our life, draw our plains. We'll play our plains. And that's going to be it. That also gives us the City's Blessing, so we can start drawing cards with Arc. But he's got a lot of cards in his hand here. Like, he's... Yeah, and that Electromancer is going to allow him to dig through it a little bit faster. There's the Enigma Drake. And a Discovery. And the Phoenix in the yard. So Vraska's Contempt. We're going to pass the turn. I want him to play out his spells. We're not in any danger of dying this turn. It's not going to happen. He's not going to play out the spells that get rid of... So maybe we could draw out a dive down here. No. And another Enigma Drake for the opponent. We'll draw a card from our treasure. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, that's really good. Opponent with 5 cards in hand will clear his board of the threats and pass the turn. Discovery for our opponent. This is where he is going to do everything he can to play 3 spells, maybe find a 3rd Phoenix. Still only has that 1 Phoenix. He will Radical Idea, discarding a land. Leaving him 3 open mana. Radical Idea again, discarding another Phoenix. Fantastic for our opponent. So he is going to reanimate. He is going to get in for 6. There's, I could prevent 3 of it if I wanted. I really don't care. In fact, I'm going to draw this card just to see what I get. It's another plains. That's fine. Right now, the more land I get, the better. I'm completely okay with this. Opponent refills the grip. All right. Will Vraska's Contempt that Phoenix? I'm going to Binding this Phoenix. So this gives him one more Phoenix that he can play. He still has Crackles. Crackle's going to resolve. Not much we can do about Crackles. Now, the great thing about his Drakes is from the yard, if we reanimate them with Eldritch Reborn, we do play a fair share of instants and sorceries ourselves. So that turns out to be just a really solid card for us. And we are going to do that now. And yeah, pass turn. There is Electromancer, making the spells cheaper for the team. We'll draw the card. Another Swamp. I'm pretty much over the land draws now. We can move past that. Fountain's not bad. I mean, the more time I get, the better. We're going to run Beelzebub out here. All right. We're going to get a Settle. And another Fountain of Renewal, which we will run out. Lava Coil, and followed up probably by Shock. There it is. So he drew 2 cards and got rid of 2 spells from our opponent. That is something that I will take every time. Another Electromancer for our opponent. We're going to grab Crackles, which will draw us an additional card. Very nice. Yep, there's not really a whole lot of plays we care about right now. We're in all right shape. Lava Coil his own Crackles. There it goes. So again, he's attacking for what is essentially 1. And an Enigma Drake. It's pretty good. So I'm just going to settle his Enigma Drake here. He knew it was coming. He knew I had it. We're not going to... I can't just let him hit me for 11 all the time. We're also going to get rid of one of his Electromancers. And another Enigma Drake. That is Enigma Drake number 4. That is going to help us out. He does know that he has 1 open shot here. And he will drop us to 20. He will drop us to 19. There's a lot of different outs that we have here. We need to draw one of them. There's one. We'll gain 3 life. Draw a couple of cards. All right. Let's take a quick peek. He has an Arc-like Phoenix that he is not allowed to cast. He needs to find a way to get that into his graveyard. We're going to go ahead and wipe out his Enigma Drake. And we will pass the turn. And that is how you get rid of an Arc-like Phoenix right there. He does not have the 3 spells. So now we become a card-drawing fool. And there is what we need to deal with any other. We don't no longer care about the Phoenix. He deals 3, we gain 3. I mean, we're pretty much just at a state where it doesn't matter. But another Cackling Drake does matter. So we don't want to fuck that up. There's the Electromancer. Again, don't really care about Electromancer. $23 cards to his 14. I think we're going to be all right. There's our Dawn of Hope. I mean, if we wanted to, we could start running that out. It's not really going to be that big of a deal. I mean, I am going to play it. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. There's an opt. There's a Radical Idea from hand, which means Phoenix can come back if he wants. Discarding a land. Now, I do want to get rid of the Phoenix, just because I know it's his last one. And he decided not to search. And there's the other Crackles. And no drawn. Discard the land. See what else our opponent has in there. He will shock our token, which actually makes sense. We will take his Chart a Course. Excellence Binding on Crackles. And we'll pass turn. 5, 8, 10, 12, 13. So we can make 3 guys. That is exactly what we will do. Another set of the wreckage for, I don't even know what. Oh, I know he has a Cackling Drake, doesn't he? No Cackling Drake? Alright. Well, Enigma Drake then. So on our side, he is a 12-5. Which means next turn he dies. He was going to die next turn anyway. That's not really that big of a deal, but... He has 1 draw step. I don't know what he has here, but it better be saucy. There's the Discovery. Even if he wasn't going to die next turn, like even if he was able to completely stave all this off, he's got 4 cards left. And there's the scoop. Oh, we got a little wee Dreadnoughts. The 5-0 action. So this hand is super slow. If I'm against anything aggro, I mean, we're going to keep this just because, I mean, this is the worst hand that we started with. That's all right. On a different note, it's kind of fun to know, yep, here's the aggro. It's kind of fun to know that this deck actually costs the same amount if you were to buy it in real life on paper as the average income for the people in the country that I live in. Ooh. Isn't he just fucking going nuts over here? Oh man. So this is really slow. If he follows this up with something hot, I don't know if we can win. Alright, that's not that bad. I mean, we're still going to 12, and I've got no life gain on board. Okay. Yep. When I said 12, I completely meant 6. Okay. Another Wizard's Lightning. You got it. You know, sometimes red just has to be red. You know, I mean, that there's not, no, that hand was absolutely batshit crazy. Like, that's the perfect hand against what I had in my hand. I mean, I'm pretty sure that that was somebody from Wizards who completely hacked that and just like, all right, let's go ahead and stop this guy. Again, this is very slow. All right, let's try it. Let's just be bad. All right, so he's getting a kind of quick start. Because Savannah Lion wasn't good enough, we had to give it extra abilities that do shit. That was not the card we wanted to draw. Good. Dauntless Bodyguard ×2. Yeah, again, yeah, we'll run out Profane Possession just because we have nothing else to do. Opponent, not sure what to do. Yeah, I mean, attack for 6 seems like a solid idea on turn 3. Moment of Truth. I mean, that helped, but our opponent will most likely play around it. I wouldn't be surprised if he only sends 2 guys, which is actually okay with the second settle. Uh-huh. That's exactly what he does, and we will settle that. So this is where the opponent is patting himself on the back. Oh, what a great play. I didn't attack with the Benelish Marshal. I have a 900 IQ when it comes to Magic. But now he runs out 2 guys. Oh. I mean, that's good too. I don't really got much going on here. I don't care if I take 3, so we're going to duress, just see what he has. He has another Benelish Marshal. He's, oh man. That could be very unfortunate. All right. So, yeah, Benelish Marshal, and then convoke both of them to make them big and bring out this guy. mean, he can only convoke 1 if he wants. Deal 4. It's pretty good. Yep, there that is. Yep, and he hits for 4, down to 8. That is not the land we wanted. Or not the card we wanted. We definitely wanted land. Any land there would have been great. Now that's an interesting play. And it seems bad. Like if I had Seal Away, that attack would just be terrible. So we have to bank on me drawing. Any land would actually work. A swamp would be great. I've got no choice, though. I can't take the 6. If I had any kind of life gain, I would take the 6. In hindsight, that was probably a misplay. Going to 2 there would have given me an extra draw. Because now he could be pretty confident that I don't have the 3rd. So now my out is one of the 22 lands that I have left in the deck. Great. Great. Yeah, so there that is. I mean, 26 lands, you draw 4 of them. I shouldn't have kept that opening hand. Like, there's no excuse could be made there. All right, so let's not lose anymore. We got to get 2 more in there before we lose. We're already at 5 wins, so we've already made money here, which is fine. And you see the only 2 losses. I mean, yes, like I will take full responsibility for keeping hands that I probably shouldn't have kept. But the truth of the matter is, this hand's bananas good. The truth of the matter, we lost to the God draw from mono red. And we lost to not drawing. Like our opponent had, what, 9 lands in play? We had 4. All right, so... I mean, I kept bad hands, but, I mean, still, luck is going to luck. This game is about 60% of it. Be interested to see what he's playing. Planes. All right, what the hell is this? Equip a creature gets +2/+2, and as long as it's your turn, he has first strike. Yeah. I'm just going to run out the second treasure map. Yeah, that's the thing. See if we can find an answer here. I mean, that's not really the answer I want. Neither is that really, but well, let's see what he has in there just to make sure he's not going to do anything else that's... Oh, my God. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty stout. That is interesting. We will keep that. I need to get... I'm just scrying to get the counters on there because I'm probably... Oh, man. Dauntless Bodyguard protecting anything, or I don't know what the hell's going on there. All right, so how much does he hit me for here? He hits me for, well, he's going to play this, which I kind of want him to play both of them, but he's not going to. Anyway, he hits me for 3, 6, 9. Plus 6 is 15. Plus 3 is 18. And if he draws a land, he can also equip this, which is 20. I don't see him attached to anybody. Like, there's usually an animation that shows that he's attached to something. All right, so it was attached to this. All right, so he's going to hit for some. Yeah, there's another Radiance thingy. Yeah, Hulk Smash. Mortal Sun doesn't help us. Dawn of Hope. God, does Dawn of Hope help us? I don't think it does, but I mean it's a blocker. We aren't going to gain any life off of it, but at least we're not going to get completely boned by it. Excellence Binding. Okay. Targeting. The Dawn of Hope. Yeah. Oh, I want to tap the planes. And this helps us draw cards. This doesn't actually get us to where we need to be. Welcome back, Immortal Sun. I mean, do I just take another 4 here? Potentially 7? Yeah, we'll do that just to draw more cards, I guess. Let's see what happens. He puts the Jousting Lance on the guy. 6, I guess. Plays the other Jousting Lance. And I will cut myself down to 7. And we will pass. Excellence Binding Treasure Map. No. Ah, fuck. Alright, I completely screwed that up. Misclicks for days. Alright, we are going to bind that. I don't want him like mass creating tokens here. And another misclick. I got a little too excited. The preemptive good game from our opponent when he doesn't realize that the game's not over yet. Sir, those are always the fun ones. We'll go to 9. I'm going to skip on the Dawn of Hope draw. Alright. 0 casting cost Fountain of Renewal. Play our Swamp. Our opponent has Conclave Tribunal. That could actually be kind of bad for us. Yep. I mean, he should be taking out Dawn of Hope here. It's currently the only thing keeping me alive. He's going to take out Ixalan's Binding. And then Ixalan's Binding Dawn of Hope. Yes, that is a good play. Oh, goodness. Oh my. So Profane Possession pretty much changed the dynamic here. No, now pass turn. All right. We will scry. I don't want that. I will draw a card with this here treasure. I'm going to put a stop on my upkeep because I do want to transform this. Yes. Does he have anything in his yard? He doesn't. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's trying to do. I'm going to shift the duress. We'll draw a card for Immortal Sun. We'll draw a card for the turn. Maybe. Excellent. Yeah, we'll pass the turn. This is where he makes 2 guys during the end step. Or he could just not make the 2 guys during the end step. Untap, lay a land, equip them both, and attack for 6. Yeah, oops. Opponent is probably thinking about what it would be like to enter the scoop phase. Dawn of Hope, not a playable card for us. We'll run the swamp out and pass turn. Like I said before, it's incredibly grindy. We could make the more aggressive play of Ixalan's binding, his Ixalan's binding to get our Dawn of Hope back. That might be what it comes down to. But at this point, I don't think I'm in any danger of losing, mainly because of profane possession. The only way that our opponent can actually win at this point is to get profane possession off the board. The only way he can do that with his deck is with enchantments. And when profane possession comes off the board, or Immortal Sun, if he gets rid of either of those, then we use Cleansing Nova to, we'll sack these to draw a card, use Cleansing Nova to wipe all the enchantments out, just have an overwhelming board presence from there. I don't really feel that Dawn of Hope is needed. Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of knew what was going on there. As soon as profane possession becomes active, like in that particular scenario, game is pretty much over. All right, one more win or lose. This is it. Let's see where we are. That's funny. I've been playing this deck now for about 3.5 weeks. Been tweaking it, trying to get it right. And then yesterday or the day before, I saw a popular streamer who is with Cool Stuff Inc. down in Florida, playing something very similar to this. I wonder if maybe I accidentally played against one of his accounts or something and gave him an idea. Probably not. I mean, all he does all day is sits and brews, so. Well, he probably goes to work, but at work he's probably thinking about Magic. Let's see what you got in there, blue-black deck. He decides to Spell Pierce. I need to learn to start playing my land first. I mean, I know that's kind of sacrilege, but Thought Erasure for our opponent. So again, this is the deck I was talking about before. This gets really grindy if I can get anything that draws cards. I'll be in pretty good shape. That draws cards. Let's hope he doesn't have another Spell Pierce. Yep. And there's the Disinformation Campaign. That's going to resolve, and we're going to lose a demon. We need to find a land. That's not a land. Okay, we need to draw the land here. That did not work out too well for what we were trying to do. We really needed to Ixalan's Binding that right then and there while he was tapped out. Hopefully he'll tap out again. I mean, technically he's probably going to tap out here. He's going to return this, lay a land, and yep, do it again, which will get rid of one of our bindings. Come on, land. There it is. There it is. The whole engine for his deck is Disinformation Campaign. So taking this thing out of play is going to just be huge. Doom Whisperer. Yeah. Gotta be kidding me. Yeah. So Doom Whisperer is going to smash our face here. No, after he gets finished setting up his next few draws. Buries Nebraska, probably a good call. Escanta for our opponent. Also very good. I don't know if the grindiness is going to get there with what's going on here. Oh, we're going to draw. Yep. Yep. Okay. That helped us 0%. Mm-hmm. He's like turbo running to flip this search Visconta. Oh, but he didn't. All right. Burglar rat. That'll resolve. There goes the planes. Truth is that, I mean, that's all right. We're gonna try to kill it. There's no reason he stops us. Yeah. And we will draw that extra card. Does not help. Let's try again. Mm-hmm. More lands. More lands. Well, let's see if his counter magic game's on point. It looks like it is. There's a steel sabotage. I mean, we could kind of expect him to have that. We had no choice but to kind of do that, in my opinion. We get 1 or 2 more draws. He gets to flip his Search for Visconta for Impulse on a Steak. The Thief of Sanity coming out game 1. Oh, man. Yep. Thief of Sanity. Thought Erasure and Fountain of Renewal is all yours, buddy. Now is the perfect time for Cleansing Nova, in my opinion. One, two, three, 4. Huh. I mean, we can play this. We can get rid of Thief of Sanity. Go down to 3. Okay, it's not exactly how I wanted to use my last treasure, but I mean, you know, whatever it takes to not die. Okay. I mean, it's still got Thief of Sanity off the board, which was what the whole idea was there. Discovery, okay. Discovery, okay. Okay. He will surveil. All right. All right, gain a life. Draw a card. Okay. Okay. All right, worse shit has happened. All right, let's see what's in here. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. He's got another Doom Whisper, which is unfortunate. I'm actually going to take his Eldest Reborn. It's the only card I really care about in that whole thing. And we are going to remove his Doom Whisper. His play here will be to untap, cast another Doom Whisper, There's the Doom Whisper. Power play. Second verse, same as the first. We're going to go ahead and draw a card. And draw a card. Man, we fucking draw lands like a boss. Yep. We're going to go ahead and let him surveil. Next turn we can duress. Oh, mill 2. Mill 2. I like where his head's at here. Mill 2. Why did he mill another Doom Whisper? Like, what is he digging for? Is he just trying to kill himself, or? Okay. Eldest Reborn, yeah, that just happened. Resolve. I want to make a dork. Just draw that card. Woo! I just drew things that weren't land. We're definitely going to draw that. We're definitely going to play that fountain. And I will definitely pass the turn. Yep. Now we're actually going to skip that draw. Force Nebraska's contempt. Yep. Deal that damage. Play a land. Play Fountain of Renewal number 3. And pass the turn. Going for Thief of Sanity. Thief of Sanity number 2. Uses Escanta. To put a Thought Erasure. We will make a token. All right, so we managed to come back from that pretty good. What do we go down to there? 3? Oh, and we got a mythic out of that. We got another Star of Extinction. I do want a couple more of those. That card's so much fun. And that gives us 7. Let's see what we get on the prize in. So we double our money. So we get another mythic. Let's see what we get here. Beacon Bolt. Deathgore Scavenger. I have 0 of these. I'm really glad I was able to get that. I like this card. It's going to rotate when? Next year? That's fine. And another mythic. I actually have like 85 of these, so it turns into dust. And there you have it. That is the meta control right there. Just grinding shit out, man. I almost missed mono red, but no, I really don't. All right. That is going to do it.